Oops. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Margaux with Margaux. This is interesting because I'm back to doing this on my own so I can see myself inside the thing. And just like everybody else, if you can fix something in your looks, why not fix it? So I just want to tell you, welcome. We made it. This is the end of my ninth week that I've been doing this. I'm so happy you've taken the time to join me. It's been an incredible journey, to say the least. You know what's funny about this whole experience in life? You start out about 2 months ago when I started this whole thing, I thought, oh, I'm going to talk about all these fabulous things. And I've had challenges in my life. I'll be an inspiration. I'll do something fun and positive. The coronavirus is here. And that has totally changed my existence. I'm sure it's changed yours as well. I don't want to share too much of the negative news. It's just way too depressing. So I decided to stay more positive, give you more insight into what I think is going on, what I feel is going on, but I want to be positive. So, because I know the importance of a great mind, positive thinking is what we need right now because we need each other so deeply. We depend on each other. We need each other. If you need something, if I need something, we're interdependent like no other because we need to survive. Our whole species is on the line and we are going to make it through. So, first off, welcome again for joining me. I really appreciate you coming in. It's so wonderful. Hold on one sec. I'm going to get me a glass of Margaux, my favorite wine. You know what's interesting is, Hall of LA is all closed down, right? So I thought, they're not going to close the liquor stores, are they? Because how are people going to get a wine or Margaux? So I don't drink Margaux every single day, a whole glass. Just sometimes there's a couple of sips for the show. So here we go. If you have a glass or something great to drink, I just want to say thank you for joining me. This is a wonderful moment in my life, and I'm happy that you're taking the time to join me. So here we are to a happy, happy Friday. Here we go. Why am I so happy? I'm alive. 1. 2, I don't have the coronavirus. My God, that is a good day. And as far as I know, none of my loved ones has it. So I'm okay. So today is a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm so grateful, so appreciative that you've taken the time to join me this evening. So let's go ahead and get this coronavirus stuff out of the way, and we'll talk about a little bit of more fun stuff that I think is interesting. I decided to do the show every single day, Monday through Sunday, because now that the whole state of California is on kind of I wouldn't say a lockdown. You just can't go anywhere. This is a perfect opportunity for me to talk to you every day. Change my life, more time with you guys. So this is a fabulous moment in time that we get to spend together. So hold one sec. I'm going to get all my notes. We're going to go over the coronavirus news. Blah, blah, blah. We know it's sad. We know what's going on. Not the best subject, but I feel it's important to share with you all this great information that's coming in. So let's go ahead and get started. So I will start out and talk a little bit about the number of cases worldwide. First off, there are 275,741 people right now that have coronavirus at this moment. There have been a total death of 11,397 people. 91,912 people have recovered. First, I'd like us to say prayers to all the people who are diagnosed with coronavirus, and we are graced and we hope that you get better soon. Our hearts are with you. The people who've passed, I know you have your angel wings in heaven and you're praying for us down here or helping us down here to come with a cure, and you did not die in vain. So we're here, and us people that are in the physical realm, alive and well, we are going to come up with a cure, a vaccination, and so your death would not be in vain. So I just want to say thank you. We're here and we're going to stick it out strong, vigilant, and we're going to conquer this little coronavirus. Don't you got me, guys? We're going to conquer coronavirus. I refuse to be negative. I refuse to give up. I refuse to buy into anything negative. All I need is my love, my heart, and good people around me, and good laughter, and I'm okay. Everything else is not important. I got my health. I have a great show. I have you. We get to be this together. It's a good time. Okay. So let's go over the number of cases in the United States. There are 19,522 cases in the state, not the state, but in the United States. 5,733 new cases, and unfortunately, we've got 262 deaths so far in the United States. Again, our prayers are with you. You did not die in vain. I care about you guys. Prayers to all those who've passed. You did not die in vain. We're here, and we're gonna get this cure. We're gonna get a vaccination. We're gonna get better. We're gonna get stronger. We're gonna get more positive. Next thing, couple things. One, I found out today that coronavirus, I don't know, did you guys watch the press conference today with President Trump? I actually thought it was good. There's a lot of critics out there, side note. There's a lot of critics out there that say he's crazy, he's incompetent, he's a racist. There's a whole list. I called a few of my friends today and I'm like, how are you doing? How's everything going? They're like, we got to get Donald Trump out the White House. I thought, wow, okay, I know that's important, but we have more important matters in front of us, which is getting rid of coronavirus. And you know what? He's the guy in the White House. So it's in my best interest to support him, to do a great job, get us back on track, get a vaccination, get everybody together, and let's beat this thing. We need a good leader. And I honestly feel no one's perfect. This is not the easiest thing to take on. He went from real estate developer to president to now coronavirus czar of the whole world. So I'm going to support him. I'm always a person who support my own best interest. And at this point, it's in my best interest to support him because he's the president now. He's not the president in November. We'll see what happens when we get there. But right now, this is March. We have April, May, June, and I have to tell you, by November, we want to be out of this thing, right? Am I right? You want this thing to be over. So we have a normal way of life, no more coronavirus. We beat it, we conquered it. So that's what I'm praying for. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I mentioned the sad part, of course, is the loss of human life. It's just horrible. There's just no way to describe. Any life is valuable. Any angel that comes into this physical world to do something beautiful during their lifetime is a life to be celebrated. And of course, we're going to keep going. So let's go ahead and go to the positive stuff. Now, I read this in the Wall Street Journal today. There's been a little bit of talk about some hope. And any line of hope is hope. And why not go to a little bit of hope? That's all I think we should do. All right, so let's go ahead and read a little bit of hope. Doctors turn to, someone just said something across the screen that was pretty horrifying and disgusting. You will be blocked. So let me give you a little side note. If you say anything that's offensive, sexual, disgusting, horrible, I will block you in 2 seconds. This is not the time for that kind of energy to be sent to me. I will not tolerate it. I will not put up with it. And you should be ashamed of yourself. So if you're going to do that on my show, you will be blocked. I do not. One thing good in life, you always got to put up boundaries. No bad behavior. So we're going to do that. Okay, so let me go back to the article. So Wall Street Journal had a really good article. It's doctors turn to malaria drugs as potential coronavirus treatment. Some studies of chloroquine and hydrochloroquine have shown early signs of improving symptoms, and manufacturers are donating drugs or looking to increase supply. So this is great news. This is a drug that's been treated for malaria. It's been around a long time, so we're familiar with it. We just got to see how it goes. So we'll find out. Let me continue to read the article. This is just the top part of it. Doctors and hospitals are turning to decades-old anti-malaria drugs to treat patients affected with a disease caused by new coronavirus as they work to repurpose existing therapies in a race to find effective treatment. Okay? Anti-malaria drugs, chloroquine phosphate and hydrochloroquine, have both shown early signs of improving symptoms of some patients diagnosed with COVID-19, the respiratory disease caused by coronavirus. Based on reports by doctors and researchers in South Korea, France, and China, physicians in the US are also using the drug. So this is hope. Now, do we know if it will work for coronavirus? We're not sure, but it's the beginning. If we can keep coming at the rate that we're going, and I've read another great article a few days ago, there's over 30 pharmaceutical companies that are working on finding a cure, not a cure, but a vaccination for coronavirus. So there's a lot of hope. Everybody's driven. Everybody's fighting against time to save the human race. And by golly, we're going to do it. We've been around. We've survived everything. We've been here millions of years. We will exist a million more. And your children, your grandchildren will say, where were you during this time in history? And you're going to tell them you were a fighter. And you know why what inspires me to keep fighting? When I think I have friends that are doctors and I have friends that are nurses and a whole bit, is the amount of sacrifice that they put on it, that they go through on a personal level. It's the most difficult thing to imagine. I mean, as a doctor, you're trained all your life, most of your adult life, to save lives, but no one ever prepares you for something like this. I mean, you talk about it, oh, if there's a pandemic, and we've had cases like this, but to be on the front line in a place you never thought would really happen for you, I just blown away by them. I just think they're heroes. So if you know anyone who's a doctor or nurse, email them, text them, call them. That's what I did. I said, thank you. I know you guys are fighting for me. I appreciate it. And I send my love and support because they need it. Okay? So there we go. I talked a little bit about the vaccination. That's some really great information. Now, this is interesting. Now, obviously, there are not enough face masks for everyone because all you hear all day is we need to get face masks for the people on the front line, the doctors and the nurses. But what about you, the average person? So there is a pattern for a face mask. Obviously, it's not as good as the face mask that's required, but it will give you some coverage. And I think it's important to do that. I think it's understandably, you have to understand that protecting your nose, your lips from anything invading is very important, especially if you're in a store, if you're around other people, protect yourself. Now, if you're in wide open, just doing a walk or a jog, you're fine. If you're in your car, you're fine. You're in a closed space. But when you go in public and you're near people, cover. So I'm going to post this pattern on Margaux Show and also on my Twitter account. So that way you can do it. I've already printed it. I'm already sending it to people I love. And I'm already trying to figure out how I can either make it myself or get some for people, friends and family, just to give everyone something positive to do. Maybe you could just have some old clothes laying around, that are just sitting there. Make patterns, make a few masks and give them away. That's something positive. Okay, let me go through the next thing. Now I'm going to go through how long the coronavirus stays on surfaces. This is really important because if you put your gloves on and you're at the grocery store, you're like, you finish your grocery shopping, right? And you say, oh, I'm so protected. Well, a couple of things. I'm not sure how long it stays on your body or on your clothes, but I recommend if it was a really congested environment, I would wash the clothes. I had my husband, he came home from a store, I don't want to mention the name, and I said, honey, strip, take your clothes off, we're going to wash them. So that's another precaution. But when you're removing the gloves, you cannot use your hand to remove the gloves because whatever was on the gloves just went into your hand, and if you touch your face, you're infected, possibly infected. So you have to figure out a way to carefully remove the gloves. Now, I'm going to go through the list of how long the coronavirus stays on surfaces, because this is really, really key, right? So it stays on surfaces. Aluminum stays on for 2 to 8 hours. Surgical gloves, 8 hours. So there you go. So if you're wearing surgical gloves, you're going out and you touch someone, whatever the case may be, with the glove who's infected, and then you touch the glove and there you go. Very easy, contagious disease. So that's why everybody's very mindful and very careful. Next thing, steel, it stays on for 48 hours. Wood, it stays on for 4 days. So there's a chair in your house or your cousin comes over. That's why they're like, stay away, stay away. Don't have your friends come over. Don't have your family come over because you mean well. You're very nice. Like, oh, it's no big deal. Just come on over. Have some dessert. What a couple of hours are going to do. Don't do it. It's not worth the risk. Okay. So we went a little bit through that. Glass, it stays on for 4 days. Same thing. Someone touches a glass. Paper, 4 to 5 days. A sheet of paper. That means you could be at the store, you pick up something, someone else pick up something. There you go. Plastic, 5 days. I don't know. When I looked at this list and I saw the numbers of different surfaces, well, that's everything. That's pretty much everything. What is not on this list? Now you know why it's difficult and why it will continue to spread. There's just no way. How can you do it? You have to really be mindful where you put your hands, where you think. So a few years ago, I had a really close person in my life who had an issue of getting well. What we found was his immune system was deficient. I changed his entire diet. It was not easy. It was not easy. I recommend researching how to stay healthy, how to boost your immune system. There's so many great information on the internet. I'll do a show on immunity and things that I've tried that I feel that has worked, and share that with you and see what your thoughts are. If you tried them, we could share a little bit, some ideas and see where we go from there. But I had to boost his immune system. I knew one of the things that suppresses your immune system is sugar. And that's where my problem is. I like sweets. Always have when I was little. I don't know why, but I do. But stay away from sugar. It definitely affects your immune system. It's not worth it. Just be mindful. Just be careful. Don't eat a lot of sugar. One of the things I suggest to not do is eat sugar. But there are a lot of great resources online, which you can do to stay healthy, okay? Because I want you to be healthy, okay? You guys are my friends, so I want you to continue to tune in and have a great, strong immune system that if the virus is in contact with you, what happens? Now, if you're exposed to it, you get the coronavirus, still continue to build up your immune system. Do whatever it takes. There's so much great information out there. I will do a show. We'll talk about immune system and tell you all the things that I've tried, blah, blah, blah. So that's a couple of things there. So we got the immune system going. Okay. Whew. We're going to get through this. Have you guys been meditating, by the way? You have to meditate and pray. Have you been praying and meditating? Also, what you need to do is, I'm a worker. I cannot just lay around a house. So I had to create a new lifestyle for myself. That's what you need to do. You have to create a new lifestyle for yourself. Control the things you can control, which is your mind, your heart, who you spend your time with, and your spirit, meaning staying spiritual, prayer, meditation. The rest of it, you have no control. Now, of course, if you have a dream at night and find a cure in your dream of coronavirus, oh my God, I think you need to tell someone to start creating, because maybe God has given you this information to go out there and help us. So then go back to work and cure us. But in the meanwhile, for us that are here, find your way to have a new lifestyle. Be useful. So if you're around, you're with the kids all day, you may only have an hour or two for yourself, but do something positive for you. It's easy to get caught up in it, even if it's a half hour a day that you jump rope, or that one of my friends loves to mow his lawn. So whenever he's stressful, mowing the lawn. It's much better than turning to drugs. Oh my God, it's the worst. It robs your spirit, costs you money, addictiveness, bad news. Alcohol, same problem. Stay away from prescription medication. They warp your heart, they warp your mind, and we need you right now. We don't need you to escape. We need everybody on board because there may be something you can do to help someone that we need. You never know when you may be called to do something. All my life, uh, I never thought I'd be doing anything like this. Have you? Did you guys ever think you'd be doing something like this? But here I am. So sometimes things happen for a reason. God has a plan. I don't know quite how I fall into that plan, but I trust, have faith, and you keep moving forward. Redesign your life, figure your way out, do something you love at home, and you will get through this period. And pray, because we need someone to find a solution, and everybody's trying to do it. So we're working day and night to do that. Okay? There are 3 websites where you can find some really useful information. Obviously, you know the 3. I've been mentioning that for the last 2 weeks: cdc.gov, www.cdc.gov, WHO, World Health Organization. I was on there earlier today. Really great information on what's going on. www.who.int. Another website is www.nih.gov. So you have 2 government websites, and of course, the World Health Organizations for everyone. It's really, truly important. There's a couple people that I watch or listen to, and there's so many great people out there, but I really like Dr. Oz. He seems to be very sincere. I like his messaging, and he's on point. Scott Adams, I like him a lot. So if you're in the morning, I know he has a show, so I learned a little bit from him. I didn't get a chance to watch both of them today. It's been quite busy reevaluating how I'm going to do this show moving forward. I decided to do it every day, and I'm thinking of doing it twice a day. It gives me more to do because I'm an A-type personality, and I love you guys. So I will be doing it twice a day. So now that I got a little bit of that out of the way, those 2 basic information, stay healthy. Now, there's been a lot of studies that your attitude is related to your immune system. So if you're a positive energy and attitude, your body can fight the virus better. Your body can fight the virus better. You're more prepared and you can fight it. So do that. If you're negative, it weakens the immune system. That's why it's very important to stay positive. Now, obviously, this is very, very difficult, very tough, very painful, not an easy experience. So if there's friends and family that are going through a tough time, call and make them laugh. Call them, tell them you love them. Anyone in your life. I started calling friends. Oh, I talked to a friend I spoke to for 20, maybe 20 years. Called him, said hello. It was just a wonderful way to say, hi, I'm a friend. Thank you for everything you've done for me. You've been there for me, and I just wanted to say hello. Reconnect. We have time now. Reconnect with your friends. Reconnect with your children. A lot of times parents are so busy they don't have a chance to listen to their 5-year-old. It's not easy listening to a 5-year-old carry a conversation, but that 5-year-old listening to, having you, the parent, listen to them validates their existence. It makes them feel important. So it's a great opportunity to spend time, do little date nights with your kids. Go to one side of the house if it's an apartment. Maybe make one room a camp room and pretend you're camping. You know, kids have an incredible imagination. Go along with it. Say, hey, let's do a campsite. Hey, let's do this. Have a party night. Do it all from home. Create another world. Use your imagination. Kids have an active imagination. Find something fun. I know there's a lot of television. I like TV. I'm a little much. I like TV sometimes a little too much. I mean, I'm really into binging. Oh my God. Have you seen Ozark? Oh, 3rd season's coming up in about, I think next Friday, a week from tonight. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. So TV and films, I love too, but you don't want to overexpose. Your mind needs time and space, and you need to connect to that deeper part of yourself. And I think movies and TV helps you in some way, but it's not ideal. It's fun to entertain, but too much of a good thing is too much of a good thing, right? So be mindful of that. I'm going to give you 4 movies that I've watched on Netflix. Now, I'm a really big Netflix supporter. I originally, you know the story. You had the DVDs and the streaming came out. Oh my God! I felt like it was the best bang for my buck, and it continues to be so. Continues to do so. So these are four movies that came out. They were on streamed on Netflix this past year. They're really good. One is Delamite is My Name. Eddie Murphy is in the film. It was on my top 20 list that I talked about 2 days ago, Wednesday. If you haven't seen it, Eddie Murphy is iconic. He's a comic genius. Anything he does to me, he's just brilliant. This role was made for, I think he created it knowing this would be the perfect role for him. And boy, was it. Now, he was nominated for a Golden Globe. I wanted him to win an Oscar. I love Eddie Murphy. I just think he's brilliant. Haven't had a chance to meet him yet, but he's on my list because I just think he's one of the most talented, brilliant comedic geniuses that are out there. If you haven't seen the film, it's based on a true story of a gentleman who created his own movies because he was in his 50s, African American in the 70s, and we know, of course, there weren't a lot of films at the time for African Americans or films about African Americans. And oh my God, he nails it. You got to see this movie. It was laugh out loud. I wanted to win awards, loved it, loved it, loved it. Marriage Story. Now, Marriage Story, of course, is a marriage story. Is it an easy story to watch? Not easy, but I admire the film. If anyone who's been in a long-term relationship or difficult relationship or challenging relationship, who hasn't at this point? If you make it to about 25, you've probably been in one or had one, right? A challenge or two. This movie really nails it, and it really shows that the marriage story is a story it's an intertwining story. So in other words, you're married, but if you're not together for whatever the reason, you're still connected. And I thought that was something beautiful that Noah, of course, did. I told him I loved the film. I asked him what was his next project. He said he didn't know. He's really, really smart and very bold to do a film on a subject that is not an easy film to do. I just wanted to move over a little bit so you could see the fireplace. But you should see the film Marriage Story if you've been in a tough relationship and you need something or a relationship you need something to go through. It's a really good story. The other one is Two Popes, which I thought was quite good. It's written by Anthony McCartan. I don't know. Did you see The Darkest Hour? Andrew wrote that screenplay as well. I got a chance to meet him when the film came out at that time. That was probably maybe about 2 years ago. Was it 3 years ago? Do you know the film? You remember the film Darkest Hour? Well, anyway, it was a really good film. It's the film, what is his name, who won an Oscar for it? But anyway, he wrote the film, and it's very good. It's about two popes. It's about the two popes. Now, what's interesting about the story is I've never seen a film that really talked or really show what a pope goes through, because we know the pope. If you meet the pope, you just never I don't have a pope as a friend, so I thought the film was a window into how a pope thinks and the relationship between these popes. They were quite different and how they got along. Anyway, I thought it was an excellent story. Another film to add to your list. Another one, which was my best film of the year last year, was nominated for 10 Oscars, was The Irishman. I saw it at the Directors Guild at a special screening, and I was literally blown away. I knew at that very second it should win every award, but unfortunately, it didn't. But I love Martin Scorsese. I think this is one of his best films ever. I actually think it's one of his best ones, unless you have a film you think it's his favorite. But anyway, I think it's one of his best. If it's not the top, I'm sure it's probably maybe the top 3. But I just thought he did an extraordinary job. I just think he was wonderful. I was ashamed Robert De Niro didn't get a nomination, but of course Al Pacino and Joe Pesci did. I was hoping for either one of them to win, but I was secretly hoping for Brad to win because I like Brad as well. And of course, Brad won. He did a really good job. I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So these are all the good films 4 of them that are on Netflix. There's some more. I'm still quite figuring out how I'm going to strategize and talk about all the different subjects. I've had to make a little bit of changes in my life. You know what was really funny when I first started the show? I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and anywhere I'm in the world, I'll be live. Well, I don't have anywhere to go. I actually have to stay home. So I will be here. I will be talking with you. We will continue to share and communicate, and every day now. So tells you how life has changed. Um, that is basically it. I got all the good information on there. I'm going to post that article in Wall Street Journal so you guys can see it as well. I do feel in my heart the president is doing a good job overall. And he's doing these daily briefings, which really, honestly, he doesn't need to do. I mean, he could do it like every day, every other day. He is quite a busy guy, so I do feel it's good that he's out in the public. He's talking about it. Everybody's is addressing these issues, and he's talking about the companies that are helping. It's in everybody's best interest that everybody is working, our economy is working, we're a strong country, and anything I can do to help, I'm more than willing. I think I love my country. There's other places in the world I love, but something very special about America. And I just want to tell you, I am just so incredibly blessed to be a citizen of the United States. I love many countries. I studied languages. By the way, I'd like to say hi to everyone in Italy. I have a home in Italy. It's of course rented out, so everything is good in my place. So, but I really am. My heart goes out when I see all the images on television. So, if you are in Italy, I'm sorry you're going through this, and we're here for you. We love you. We love Italians. We love Italy, and I love Italian wine. Isn't it the best? Oh my God, it's the best. So we're really blessed that we're able to continue to do this show. I'm going to have a YouTube channel, podcast. I'm going to really address a little bit more deeply on some of these issues. I think another idea that I may do is talk about mental health. Mental health is a really big issue. It's always been a big issue in our country, but for a country to go through such a devastating, um, going through this very tough moment in history, it calls upon us to stay vigilant and to stay closer to our higher angels, so to speak. It's easy to go dark and get depressed because when you look at the news, my God, it's just horrible. So you should also give yourself a break from the news. Watch maybe a half hour in the morning, half hour in the evening. Can't control the day. Why let it bother you? Now, of course, if you're having financial problems and you're going through a really good, difficult time, this is a time that we really need to pull together. I've reached out to other family, but if you have family and if you're a family, you have a family. I'll give you an example. If you have a family member and you have this beautiful house, and there's a family member that you know is a single mom and she has 2 kids, but you haven't spoken to her for 15 years, maybe you just didn't ever get along or whatever. It's a sister or cousin. It's time to step it up a little bit and say, call your sister or cousin, maybe give some things, say, look, I'm here for you. You don't have to say, oh my God, you can move in next week. Reconnect, say hello, because they're not only dealing with the tough uh, problem of the coronavirus or survival, they're also in an huge economic disadvantage and are at a place that is very difficult and very trying to go through the loss of power, that to go from having a great job and taking care of your family to not taking care of your family is devastating. I spoke to one of my friends in London and told me a little bit about what he was going through financially, and I made some calls. So I'm working on trying to do something good for them. So if you're a person who has something to offer that you can help someone, we need to step it up and help someone. I know you're thinking, wow, do I really want my cousin, my aunt, and my sister to live with me in my house because I don't want to get affected with coronavirus? Get them tested. Do whatever it takes, because at the end of the day, what does all the materials things mean if everybody around you is suffering and it's bleak and horrible? I think there's something positive that we each can do every day. You wake up with a big smile on your day and you say, okay, today's a new day. That person I was 2 weeks ago, she's no longer here. She's a new person. Let's get it. You know, another thing that inspired me too, when you look at war and you look at what people put their lives on the line for art, for this country, and the sacrifices that they make, that you mean I can't stay in my house, for a few months or figure out a new plan? My God, these people fought for us to be here and have the rights and live the life that we have. The least I could do is do what I can to help the fellow. So sometimes you have to step it up. So, my favorite quote, which I used to say in the show, I think I'll start saying again, it's one of my favorite quotes, called Love Many, Trust a Few, Learn to Paddle Your Own Canoe. Love many, that's why I'm here. Trust a few. We know there's a little bit of bad apples around us sometimes, and we have to be around people that are not healthy psychologically and have issues. That's fine. The last part of that is learn to paddle your own canoe. And this is a time to learn how to take care of yourself. So if you're overweight, maybe start a diet program. Perhaps you need to practice something. Maybe you were never good at math in high school. Start learning math. Challenge yourself. I have some really good challenges that I'm putting through myself. Pick a goal, a big goal, and just challenge yourself. You'll feel so good that you're pushing yourself in a direction that's positive and focused, that you'll gain something beautiful from it. So maybe you want to learn how to paint. Pull out some great painters. There are great painters online. Get some paint, start painting. Create something positive. Then you show it on FaceTime. Then you create an art group. So everybody shows their art every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. You all go online and show all your art and say hi. There's so many great ways to communicate. Thank God we have the internet, by the way. If we didn't have the internet, oh my God, it would have been really bad. Do you guys, any of you guys remember when there was no internet? Anybody old enough to not know that? But anyway, I don't know how they did it. So, but there's a lot of positive things that are out there. A lot of companies are going online. A lot of businesses are giving things online. There's a really good website I shared yesterday. It's www.pdfdrive.com. It has a lot of free ebooks on there. You can go there. A lot of the well-known universities like Yale, Harvard has free online courses that you can take. You can't get any credit, but you could study something, maybe philosophy, maybe a history class. There's always something wonderful. Maybe to learn about finances or the stock market. Maybe you want to understand the deficit, which, my God, is pretty bad and big. Maybe you want to study finances. There's so much great information there you can learn. You can start your own club. Figure out something you like to do. Maybe single moms with 2 kid club. And you guys get together and share ideas and connect and share love. Human beings thrive on companionship and love. And speaking of love, if you never had time to spend time with your loved one, this is a time to have a love in. Love in with your kids, love in with your spouse, show everybody you love, 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 love. That is the best way to get through this, is to cure all to everything. And what is life without love? We were born of love. When we pass on and get our angels, we're surrounded, hopefully, by love. If we're able to do, and God, we're so lucky to live here. Another side note, look at how people lived back in the 1600s and how kings lived. We live like kings. If you live in the United States and you have a place, a park, anything over you, you are living an extraordinary life. So be grateful, be thankful for what you have. I'm incredibly thankful that you're with me. I have my wonderful glass of Margaux, and I'm going to be here Saturday night. I have to work on my schedule. We're going to talk about immunity. We're going to talk about some other positive things that I've learned over the time of the years. One of the things that I learned in life is you become what you think. You have to control your thoughts. Now we're limited physically to get out into the world, but one thing you still have control over is your emotions. You have control of your thoughts. You have control what you expose your mind to. Talking to a lot of negative people and watching the news all day is a mood killer. Pick a half hour, find positive, loving people that lift your spirits, stay away from negative people. Now, this is one of my classic moves. So if you call me and you're a negative person, they're like, hi, Margaux, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing so great. How are you? And of course, they say something crazy and negative. I talked for like 10 minutes. Always ask how their family, what you're doing, how are you doing. I said, well, I hope things go well. Hope things go wonderful. And then I go, uh-oh. I have another call coming in. I am so sorry, Julie. I'm really am sorry. I'm going to have to go because you have to protect your mind. What's more important than you? I know you want to be there for everyone, but don't be a doormat. Draw boundaries, create healthy relationships with your kids, your family. Love yourself, be happy, be in the moment, love, and take care of yourself. I will be here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, hopefully on time. And I'm going to do a morning show. We're going to do a podcast. We're going to have a lot of fun. And we're going to get through this together. Thank you for joining me for another wonderful episode of Margaux with Margaux. That was so divine. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.